What year again did you say Santa Cruz was? I'm sorry.
It was like 2005.
2005. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Was there like, because in the meantime, like Girl and Chocolate starting, was there like any conversation of you getting on Girl or Chocolate?
It was always like a fantasy to write for Chocolate.
Because like Mike Carroll and like these
Yeah.
guys, like they're Sam and, you know,
Yeah.
I think Sam came on later, but you know.
Yeah. I mean, there was never any like real talk about it. I think that I kind of like had a fantasy about it in between City Stars and Santa Cruz.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what happened after City Stars wasn't around anymore, a part of my life, then I started going to the Girl Warehouse like every day with Carol.
Right.
You guys were around.
Yeah.
And like, so Mike would pick me up in his golden Escalade every day. Every day. And if Mike wasn't available, Scott Johnson would come through. Thanks, Scott. So one of those guys would pick me up, and then we'd go down to Girl and we'd skate the park.
Yeah.
And it was fun, man. And my skating got better because of doing that.
Yeah.
And then I kind of toyed around with the idea, but yeah, I sometimes had a bad attitude back in the days. You know, you could get a little chip on your shoulder, and like maybe that's not the best way to be when you're trying to, you know, get into something. But yeah, it didn't happen, and that's completely fine.
Right. Because I think a lot of people, when that first started, I was surprised. And this is also from outsider looking in back then too. I mean, I kind of knew all the, you know, growing up in LA, you'd be friendly with people and stuff like that. But there's a lot of people that I thought would be on that wasn't, you know, and I was like, whoa, like Henry Sanchez or Lee Smith, or, you know, there's LeVar even, or, you know, there's a lot of people that I was like, that totally makes sense. I wonder why that never like came to fruition.
Even Kareem and Shiloh.
Kareem and Shiloh. I mean, perfect. Yeah.
Did they talk to Kareem about getting on Chocolate?
I'm pretty sure.
From what I know, yeah.
Wow.
But the story I always heard was that Kareem wanted Shiloh, like a package deal.
Yeah.
Oh.
And I guess they were, I don't know, maybe they didn't want Shiloh.
Yeah,
Well,
don't
I
know
mean-
if that was the case. That might be the case.
Because Chocolate started a year after Girl, pretty much. But even Girl at the time, it was still a stacked team. It's like a lot of people on there for
like
a company.
11 of us.
11.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Give or take.
For a startup too, it's
For
pretty
sure.
gnarly
For sure.
to, you know, paychecks and all that stuff.
That's why I could see some people having hesitation, but at the same time, like, I think based on who was like going at that time, it was like, this shit's gonna work. Bro.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Because I think I've heard like Henry was gonna go, but then
Yeah.
he was already getting taken care of through.
he was really like
World.
getting a lot of money at that time, and I
Right.
didn't think that he was like willing to sacrifice that. You know what I mean? Like, he was comfortable.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
Which, you know, good on him, you know, for making the
sure.
money for
For
sure.
sure.
But yeah, I've always wondered stuff like that, you know, because
Yeah.
there seems to me like there should have been more people to come over as well, you know.
Sure.
But
You know, behind the scenes, it's like relationships are a little, you know, we're all humans and we're all a little bit wacky. So
for sure.
behind the scenes, the relationships can be a little, you know,
Yeah,
a little strained.
A little
at
tricky.
times. Yeah, a little
Yeah.
tricky. Exactly.
totally.
I think that probably has a lot to do with what you're wondering about, you know.
Yeah, no, I've just always, you know, well, I think it would have been great on there.
Thanks, man.
For sure,
I as
bro.
well.
Yeah, me too.
Really?
Yeah.
So they
Oh,
asked you
man.
and turned them down.
He said, nope, Santa Cruz is over here. Good, man.
Is that when Welsh was on there?
Yeah, he kind of got on like a little bit because Jake Jones, do you know Jake Jones?
Yeah.
Shout out to Jake Jones. He hooked that whole thing up, and we were all hanging out in SF. And Welsh was, I forget, maybe it was before Expedition. I don't.
Yeah.
Aesthetic. Maybe he was like floating around.
It
So
was
then,
right
Yeah.
between Aesthetics and Expedition.
yeah. So then they put Welsh on, and then I personally picked Alex Carolino and Florentine Marfa.
That's why they
Oh
got
yeah.
on.
Wow, that was because of you.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Wow.
I was like a big fan of the Lords.
Yeah.
Oh,
Lord,
yeah.
I used to
best.
watch that video every day, and I was
Psycho.
like,
That's a good
these guys
video.
are fucking sick.
Nobody
Yeah.
gives a fuck about us. Or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
And
the
you
one
know,
before that
Impactful
too.
video.
Yeah, there was that one before was good too.
so I went out to Europe, and I always kind of had this weird vision, because at that time, dude, like European skate scene and American skate scene like had nothing to do with each other.
Yeah,
Yeah.
totally opposite.
Like there was a couple guys. Obviously, you have Jeff Raleigh, Arto Sari, the big dogs, but like,
but
Right.
they made the move.
Yeah.
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 Like there were companies and worlds out there and rippers and legends that like nobody had ever even heard of.
Nobody.
I remember hearing about Jeremy Dacklin.
Yeah,
And you were like, but he was like the big guy out in Europe, but like no one really knew about him out
Well,
here.
he's over
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was
You
so
know.
weird back then.
Uh-huh.
But it
What do you
was-
mean? I knew about when useless wooden toys.
was he in that?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't.
Yeah.
I didn't
Amazing
know.
part in that.
At my point, when I was growing up, I didn't know about him until
Yeah.
Cliche came around.
Yeah,
Right.
Anyways.
Right.
And Cliche was kind of one of the first companies to really break that.
Yeah.
Through that.
Yeah.
They opened the door for sure.
They
Yeah.
did.
And
Yeah.
so I kind of like had this vision of didn't really have a clear vision, but I was always wanted to be more involved with Europe.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Bringing those guys on. I mean, those guys,
Fuck yeah.
Flo and Alex Caroline.
Dude.
Man, those
And
guys-
William Fan also.
William
I don't know if
Fan.
you
What is-
remember.
He was on there too.
Did you guys have
He-
Tommy Finn back then?
We had Tommy Finn. He got on a little bit later. But William Fan was kind of he was on a little bit, but I don't think it ever like fully
Oh.
popped off the way he wanted it to.
Were you guys-
or the way I wanted it to.
Were you
be.
guys taking them from like European companies, or were they
No, those dudes had no sponsors.
no sponsors?
Wow.
What was the sister company of Alien?
Oh,
Habitat?
Seek.
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 Yeah.
They rode for Seek, and then that went. Then that
Yes.
ended
That
up,
was
and,
right.
and they were just kind of floating around. And I was like, dude, these guys have no sponsors. Like,
They're incredible.
grab these dudes.
William Fan front 360 flip
Yeah.
board and bodies and like
Yeah.
on flat. Like
I don't think
crazy.
any of us were like fit the Santa Cruz image, but
But
But we did it
changed
anyway, yeah.
It changed the game. How you were like how Santa Cruz was perceived at that time. 'Cause
Yeah.
I was like, okay, I'm gonna pay attention now. Like you know, what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
You guys
at
made a
least-
global
at least to
team.
these dudes.
Mhm.
You know,
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, I was right. Global team for sure.
Yeah.
for sure. You've always had like a little affinity with Spain and
yeah,
I mean, you lived out there for a long time. I remember.
Yeah.
How long did you live out there? A year, couple
it
of
was like
years.
5 years in total, maybe 5-6 years in total.
5 years.
I'm a
What-
very curious person. it's a gift and a curse.
Right.
But
Right.
I'm like, I can fall in love with a place, and like I want to spend all my time there, and I'm like, this is so cool, and so I went there and I became obsessed, like most skaters that go there. But I'm just
Right.
one of the only idiots that actually like stayed there.
That stay there. I don't think you're an idiot at all. I mean, I did a 6-month stint there. You know,
Yeah.
I rent sublet Kenny Hughes' room out and everything. But it's just when you're a skateboarder and you go to a place like Barcelona, it's such a magical. It's a culture.
Yes.
Skateboarding over there. So
Yeah.
I would go out every summer. And then that one summer, I just extended the ticket, and I was not looking back really.
Yeah.
And was that kind of the same with you, or did you go out there knowing you were going to move out there?
Well, I went out there knowing I was going to move out there because I got on Santa Cruz. Because I was
Okay.
working at Huff, and I was like, always kind of had Barcelona in the back of my mind.
Mm-hmm.
But then once I got sponsored again, I was like, peace. I'm out.
I gotta
Yeah.
go. But-
Going to
and
Barcelona.
It's cheap out there too.
Yeah.
You could rent a place for
Hell
like
yeah.
100 euros.
Exactly.
You know, for
Was
sure.
it that cheap back then?
It was.
It was pretty cheap.
I think I was
Wow.
subletting Kenny Hughes' room for like 200 euros.
You could rent like a nice room for like 300 euros.
Wow.
that's
yeah.
amazing.
Yeah, yeah.
Not the same anymore now, huh? It's probably a lot more. Is
Probably
it?
not that much more.
Yeah.
It's more expensive, but not that much more.
Oh, okay.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
So now it'll be 500, 600.
That's crazy.
Exactly.
Wow.
Exactly.
So you went out there knowing you were. They
I went out there knowing that I was going to live out there, and
You knew people out there already. From
know-
just going out there.
I know a couple heads.
Yeah.
But it was funny because I went out there and some friends from SF, like Matt Jones and my good friend Marina that I grew up with, they came out with me, and we like had this whole Spanish like summer
Okay.
going up the coast and skating and hanging out at Mach. But you're hanging out with your friends from back home, right? It feels
Right.
amazing. And then winter came and everybody went home. And like I mean, winter in Barcelona is not the worst thing in the world, but
Sure.
it's not, you're not going to the beach anymore.
Yeah.
And like, it's kind of gray and it's a little chilly, and then you're like, oh shit, like I actually live out here. And, like I don't speak the language, and like I don't know anybody really.
Right. Totally.
Wait, do you speak fluent Spanish now?
Sí
Or?
que hablo español.
I remember because like you were going out there
He's all
before,
in it.
and I remember going always, every summer I'd go out there, I'd be like, Lee,
Yeah.
you're still here, and and I would see you transform into this
Yeah.
Spanish speaking dude.
So when that winter came and I was just out there kind of hanging around, I hung out with Enrique and his crew, the Sans dudes.
Enrique
Lorenzo, yeah. And so I hung out with those guys for like a year straight, just like listening to them talk and like not. I hung out with them for like a year straight, going to their birthday parties, hanging out with them, and dudes, like one guy spoke English. So it was just like. You know, like,
Just I'll take the beer. Yeah.
Cigarro?
Yeah.
And so it was like, it was like that for like a year. And then the same thing, kind of like the art and the skateboarding. All these words are floating in my head. And then one day they started kind of like
Making sense.
Yeah, making
Putting it
sense.
Right.
together.
Yeah.
Because I feel like first comes understanding, then comes putting together a sentence in Spanish. You can understand more than you could speak it.
Yeah.
You know?
That's so weird how that happens. Like you
Yeah.
can understand it, but like you can't say it.
Yeah.
I think a big part of it,
You know what I'm
yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
I think a big part of it is like embarrassment, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to be
Wrong.
embarrassed
Right.
saying this thing wrong, ordering this food, or saying something stupid to
Yeah.
your homie. And you're just trying to
100%.
learn,
Right.
you know?
Yeah.
And it kind of holds you back a little bit, at least for me.
That's why everybody speaks better when they're drunk.
Yeah.
You like kind of lose it.
like you got it.
Yeah. You kind of lose that fear.
El perro de ese Rocky no tiene rabo porque el ramo mío se lo ha cortado.
I can't believe you still remember
Claro.
that.
But even Brian Lottie said something to me about painting, and he's like, you have to make ugly paintings to make beautiful paintings.
Yes.
And so it's not going to be beautiful immediately.
Right.
You're going to
Yeah.
make a lot of mistakes, and you're going to like,
That's true.
and that it goes for art or language or most things.
Skateboarding.
Even
Everything.
skateboarding, yeah.
For sure.
You struggle with kickflips for like 2 years, and then next thing you know, you're cracking them over handrails. Like,
Easy. Dude,
Straight
doing
up.
it.
Yeah.
But yeah, Barcelona's a beautiful place, and I fucking when you go there, you understand why like somebody would move out there.
yeah.
But that's a long time. Did you feel when you were over there for that long? Would you come? You would come back.
I
once in a
would come
while.
back. Yeah, I'd come back. I felt really torn between the two countries, the two
I was
places.
gonna say, because did you feel disconnected when you were out there for so long?
Disconnected from here.
From here, yeah.
Yeah, but I always felt like I was like missing one or the other, and like I had this vision in my head of living a intercontinental, transcontinental life,
Yeah.
which is why I did the FTC Barcelona out there.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Shout out FTC Barcelona.
Yeah.
That was rad.
It's still
Help
there.
launch
That was really rad.
Yeah,
It's
that was
there.
like my whole idea and everything. That came from me wanting to like actually live out there and
Right.
like try to build a life.
That's what I remember.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
That's so sick. And they trusted you and your, what you were trying to put together, which is
Yeah.
great. Was that going through Kent?
Yeah, we hit up Kent and like kind of just like franchised it.
Okay.
And like,
So sick.
yeah.
It's dope.
And it's still there, and it's fucking.
It's still there, yeah.
They moved recently, right? I thought
I
they
believe so. I don't really keep
Oh,
too much
you're
in
not
touch with
involved
them. I'm
with
not
it?
involved with it,
Okay.
but yeah, it's still going for
Okay.
sure.
Okay.
amazing.
Dude, this is random. You know, there was FTC in Sacramento.
Mm-hmm.
Eddie that worked there.
Mhm.
Eddie Lee. I don't know if you knew this, but I don't know if it matters, but he's cousins with Bobby Lee.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
I was just like, what?
Who's
the-
Bobby Lee?
He's like
Comedian.
a famous
Oh, okay.
comedian.
Yeah.
But I was just like, what the fuck? How small world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Funny.
But
Well, their whole
FTC
family skated and stuff.
Yeah.
Bobby Lee's.
But FTC is a great shop.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
What year did you move out there? Was this the same year, La Santa Cruz thing?
Yeah,
So
I moved there
early
in, like,
2000s.
2005, 2006.
'Cause I'm trying to think, because there was a point in time in skateboarding where you could live anywhere in the world and do it. There, up until that point, it was like the mecca of skateboarding is here.
Yeah.
You have to live here to be able to do it, you know? And that's why I was kind of seeing if you were feeling disconnected now because you're moved away to another
Yeah.
country and now it's like being sponsored by a San Francisco company moving down to LA.
Yeah.
It's like there's some little disconnect.
There was, in that sense, there was definitely a disconnect.
Okay.
I think probably from Santa Cruz's eyes, they're like, we don't know where this dude
This
is.
dude is just
Yeah.
They're
gallivanting
like,
around
this dude's
Spain.
around somewhere. He sends us a random sequence like every 3 months, and, like, and like maybe 1 minute of footage, and like we don't know.
He's
what to do
hanging
with
out
this
someplace
guy.
Manolo's. I don't know where.
Yeah.
Damn, I miss Manolo.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Manolo's.
Is that still around or what?
think so.
I believe
It
so.
has to be.
There's no way.
Winkle goes there still.
Wait, shout out
Oh,
Winkle.
sure.
man.
Yeah.
Hold it down out there. Still.
Hold it down.
Winkle, yeah,
Holy
anything
shit.
you get to Barcelona, hit
Yeah.
Winkle, he'll get you
He
anything.
got you.
For real.
Is Betty
been there
Ford
for-
still around?
Betty Ford is still around.
Oh
Yeah,
my
yeah. I was
God.
just there last summer. It was
That's
like,
it. But then there was a
shout out to
club.
Dave from
Great-
Betty's.
Great burgers there.
Yeah.
What was a club
rad.
that everybody?
Fellini.
No,
Jamboree.
Jamboree.
There it is.
Jamboree.
Jamboree.
Good
Yeah.
old
You
Jamboree.
could definitely get lost out there.
Dude,
for sure.
next thing-
Skateboarding, but also
yeah.
you could get lost in the lifestyle out there too. Partying and shit.
There's a good handful of people that have lost their shit out there.
Yeah.
Don't think I lost my mind, but my reality got really skewed out there.
Okay.
Right.
When every human being needs to have purpose, right? And you're kind of out there and you're like, wake up and go to Makba and get drunk again and then do it over and over. And you're like, dude, after a while, you're like, what?
What is this?
What?
What am I doing?
I'm
what?
scheduled to go to Jamboree again tonight.
I gotta get ready now. Let me take a nap.
It's 3 p.m. I gotta,
Dude.
seriously though,
Yeah.
it's so true. But you did feel that type of disconnect through skateboarding and the sponsors you had at the time
Yeah.
and stuff like that.
I did, but I didn't really like act on it. I was like, well, whatever.
It is what it
It
is.
is what it is. Yeah.
Hey, shout out Barcelona. I've met so many amazing people out in Barcelona.
Yes.
And I've met people that lived close to me here in LA that I would never met, but I met them in Barcelona.
Yes.
Which I think is crazy.
Well,
Totally.
it's weird because I now have this global network of I know a lot of people all over the world.
Yeah.
I mean, we all do,
Right.
from skating, but random men and women that don't have anything to do with skating, and it's just because of living in Barcelona.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, Barcelona is a hub of,
Yeah, it's
for
a
people who
hub.
don't know it, tourists. It's a
Yeah.
tourist place. So
People are coming and going all the time.
all the
Right.
time. And it's a tourist place for skateboarders too. So it's
Oh,
it's
yeah.
the mecca of Swedish, Brazilians, all the whole world goes there to
Yeah.
Yeah.
vacation and holiday, if you will. But I love it over there. Parallel.
so
Oh
fucking
my
good.
It would be
God,
awesome to
that
go
spot.
back. It's been so long for me.
Yeah.
Damn.
I went back last summer a few times because I had some free time that as adults we don't have that often anymore, especially if you got kids and stuff.
doubt.
But I went back and it was interesting. It's interesting to go back as an adult when my tastes have changed. I do different things. I like to go to nice restaurants, go up the coast, hang,
Yeah.
see take in some art and some culture and actually kind of learn about the place.
Right.
I mean, although I did when I lived there, but more. So it's really nice to go back there and from that angle and kind of see things from a more
little
adult.
It's
Yeah.
interesting. Because when you travel with a skateboard, you're not going sightseeing. You're not going. I lived there for 6 months. I don't think I went to the Sagrada Familia. You know what I mean? You would see it, but
And
you're
you're
not.
like, oh, it's cool. Where's that ledge?
Things
Also,
are old.
there-
They're still
although-
working on it.
Although
Yeah.
there is some people that do that, and
Yeah.
I admire that, because I didn't do it. You know
Yeah,
what I
me
mean?
neither. Me neither.
And I don't know why I didn't motivate myself to do it after seeing them or going hey, can
Yeah.
I tag along and fucking go take some pictures of, but
Yeah.
never did that shit.
I mean, I had been to Paris a handful of times with skateboarding and only going back with my girlfriend a few years ago. My ex-girlfriend a few years ago was the first time I had ever seen anything there.
You're like Eiffel
Right.
Tower. I've been here a dozen times. I've seen it from the.
Yeah.
yeah.
But that's crazy. But as skateboarding, we're in the moment. We're on tours. We're doing stuff, and if it's raining, that's our downtime, and it's usually a hotel or a movie or some shit like
And
that.
interestingly enough, though, on the flip side of that, we see parts of places that other people don't ever see.
That's
Yes,
the
very
part
true.
Yeah.
that I love.
Yeah, we go to the little cuts and the little weird neighborhoods and the little cutty spots.
We go to the gutters.
Yeah.
Yeah, but see how people really, are how they really live.
It's true though.
Yeah.
We get immersed in we're there almost as a local because we're there with the locals. So
Yeah.
hey, go here, go. You're not asking the concierge at the hotel where to go eat.
Yeah.
It's like
Right.
we're being taken to the dope
Exactly.
shit.
Exactly.
which is phenomenal.
Hell
Love
yeah.
that. Shout out traveling. Straight up.
I mean,
You used to get that hot dog every night. That was your thing.
Ooh, me and Oliver Barton, bro. This hot dog. It
You
was
had
by
this
the
hot
pier.
dog,
It was by the pier.
That was your nightly thing.
They had these hot dogs, man. And I'm not a big hot dog.
yes.
In Barcelona?
fan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was like right in front of the
little street
the
dog?
marina.
The marina.
Yeah.
So like down, in the marina, you know those ledges
Yeah.
that go off the
Oh
drop.
yeah, the drop ones. Yeah.
They had these like crispy, like onions on them. It was.
Sounds great.
It was.
I was just walking by
crazy,
those last
bro.
night. Fucking spitting. Walking by those last night for the Laker game. There's like probably like 10 of those motherfuckers
Yeah.
on one block.
The bacon wraps.
The bacon wrap, bro. I was
So like this
smelling
is like a
those
bacon
things.
wrap. This is like on steroids. This is like the just.
Wow.
Oh, it's so good, man. The
Amazing.
food over there is
Yeah.
incredible.
Yeah.
Where is that like button? Right? Is it right here or right here?
Just a little scroll coming down the bottom.
It's
Subscribe.
over to it's on your
It's on my right?
left.
It's on
No,
my
on your
left.
left.
Hey,
Yeah,
hit
right
that
there.
button right there.
Right there.
Right there.
The like button's kind of like in the middle there. It's like we're kind of.
Oh, it's like right here?
Kind of.
Like
yeah,
right
but
there?
The subscribe's like over to the left.
Like right over there. All right.